Hello everyone. My name is Utkarsh, and welcome you all to this YouTube series where we are doing LeetCode 150 top interview questions. And today we are going to do a new question, which is jump game. So let's now start this question and read this question. So you are given an integer array nums. You are initially positioned at the array's first index, and each element in the array represents your maximum jump length at that position. Return true if you can reach the last index, or false otherwise. So here we are given a input array which is nums, and what we have to do, we have to check by jumping, can we move to the, or can we reach to the last index. And in here, the every element value present at a, every index of the nums indicates that the maximum jump which we can take. So assume when we are present at the first index, the maximum jump which we can take is 2, second is 3. So that's how we have to jump. And the possible, we have to find out that if we are possible to reach the last index, we have to return true, and if it is not possible, we have to return false. So here you can do an example to that it is not possible to reach at last index, because when we are at first position and we jump maximum 3, we are going to reach at this index 0. And we are starting from second index, then again we reach same index which value is equals to 0. And when we start from 1, we again going to reach at the same. And when we reach at this position, the value is 0, so jump equals to 0, so we are not able to reach the final position. So in this condition, it is going to be false. So you can clearly see that if every element present in here is not equals to 0, then we can finally get to the our last position. But if there are 0 included in between, so we are, there is a chances that we are not able to reach the last position. So in this question, we can use apply dp, so that we can find all possible ways, and we can find out that if we are uh, able to reach the last position or not. But we are going to use a simple approach in here, and we are going to use an algorithm. So we are going to do is that, so we are going to declare a variable. So we are going to store a variable at our each iteration. We are going to run a for loop, and we are going to store a variable which is going to denote that what is the maximum length which we can achieve at every index. So if we start from the first index, we can jump maximum 2. So the maximum length we can travel is equals to 2. So we are going to store reach equals to 2. Okay, now when we move at the second index and we check that the maximum is going to be increased, and here it is going to be 4 because the jump is 3 and we are at next index. So total length, or the total jump we can make maximum, is equals to 4. So we have to store the maximum. So the previous one is 2 and current we have got 4, so we are going to store its max. So this is the variable reach which is going to be. Okay, now let's understand that when we are going to get a condition when we have written false, that means we do not have reached the last index. So let's see this question. So in this example, what happens is that when we are at first index, we are going to max get the max, or our reach index is going to be 3. So at first index, we know that the maximum distance which we can cover equals to 3. At second index, we know that maximum is going to be 2 plus 1 3, because we are at second index. And at third, we are going to get 2 plus 1 equals to 3. So until this position, we are getting the maximum is equals to 3 in all cases. But when we reach at this position 0, so what is the next? Here also it is going to be 3, because we do not have any value, it is 0. So previous steps 3 and plus its value equals to 0 equals to 3, so it remains 3. And when we move to the next index, what we got, that our I is increased and reached the fourth index, but our reach value is present at the third index. So it crosses our, at last index. What happened, our reach it is at zeroth index here, and zeroth index, no, it at third index, and our ith is at fourth index. So what happens, it indicates that we cannot reach the final destination, so we have to return false. So now let's code this and understand how we are going to do it. So as earlier discussed, we are going to take a variable int which is going to store our reach. Okay, so we are going to initially take it as 0, and we are going to run a for loop for int I equals to 0, I less than nums dot size I plus plus. Okay, Now what we have to do, we have to check condition. What when our I gets less than our I gets greater than reach. So as we seen in the last question that our I has reached the last position, but our reach is one previous to the I. So we have to return false because we are not able to reach to the last index. And otherwise, what we have to do, we have to store reach equals to max of reach, comma I plus our value, that is nums I. Okay, so what we have done, as we have already in our discussion, that what we are doing the addition of the position of that index and the value at that index. So we are going to our change our reach every time by checking the maximum. So if all the loop passes, that means we can reach final destination easily. So we have to return true. So this is the code. Now try to run it. So it is accepted. Now submit this. Okay, so it is successfully submitted. Now this is the question for today. Thank you all.